What's up, everybody? It's your man, Uncle Kurt, Triad Hip Hop Podcast, and it's time for another lyrical breakdown. So let's get started. Alright, so I'm gonna have to take it back, man, to somebody who's a veteran, you know what I mean? This is my man KRS-One, you know, one of the founding members of Boogie Down Productions, but now he's just doing solo work, you know, for the last umpteen years. And, you know, this is the latest album he did. It's called Streetlight. Came out at the end of 2019. So this is one of the joints off there, and this is just so you know KRS is still doing this thing. You know what I mean? It's like he don't even have to drop music anymore. He can just, you know what I mean? He could just live off of what he already did, and you know, as far as credibility and you know, legendary status. But this song is called Forever Hip Hop, and it's one of my favorites off the Streetlight album. If you haven't heard the album, go check it out, please. He just dropped it at the end of 2019. It's dope. It's boom bap. It's hip hop. It's everything that you would want from KRS-One. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and get into that. Like I said, it's called Forever Hip Hop. And here we go. After we finish listening to that first verse, I'm gonna come back and give my breakdown on how I look at that first verse. All right, here we go.
It's live when I come through. This the teacher giving the test. 1, 2. Woo! Forever hip hop. That's right. Instead of talking for profit, let a prophet talk. The teacher and the coroner, we got a lot of chalk. But which one will find you and outline you? You know the answer to that, it's the one you put your mind to. See, when the truth starts speaking, frauds start leaving, making excuses like, yo, I got something to do this evening. Still deceiving, still disbelieving, still not achieving, avoiding the teaching really for no reason. But I'm still eating, popularity peaking. For the last 5 years, I've been booked up every weekend. No, I'm not bragging, but they still grieving, criticizing the very knowledge they still needing. I'm still reading, still lecturing, rhyming, impeccable timing, repeatedly shining, seeking, you'll find them. Reading holy books with shamans, lyrical Brahmin, lecturing at UCLA with Common. Graffiti writer bombing, putting up hieroglyphs like Tutankhamun. Bliss I'm in, life does what I says like Simon. I'm not jobbing or grinding, divine mind is providing, no lying. I keep it knocking and rocking, keep it hot. You can find me in the sun like Akhenaten. Forever hip hop, forever hip hop, forever hip hop, yes, forever hip hop.
So there it is, you know what I mean? That's boom bap right there. That's hip hop. That's lyricism. You know what I mean? That's those elements. You know what I mean? Those important elements of hip hop that we all need. So let me go ahead and go through the lyrics real quick and tell you how it breaks down for me. So he said, instead of talking for profit, let a prophet talk. You know what I mean? That's dope wordplay right there. You know what I mean? Because he's talking about instead of talking for profit, meaning, you know, for making money, making a profit in that way, let a prophet talk. Meaning, you know, when I'm speaking, it's prophetic. You know, it's you know, one of those things where, you know, I'm giving you real insight, real, you know what I mean, high level, you know, wordplay. So I really like that about KRS-One. He's not really out here bragging about money and street life and none of that stuff. You know what I mean? He said the teacher and the coroner, we got a lot of chalk, but which one will find you and outline you? I mean, right there, you know what I mean? That's dope. You know what I mean? Metaphors. He said the teacher and the coroner, we got a lot of chalk. So, you know, if any of you know how old school used to be, you know, a teacher would use chalk. You know, now they use more dry erase markers, but, you know, mostly back in the day they used chalk on the chalkboard. And then the coroner, you know, when you think of somebody's body laying dead on the ground, they usually draw chalk around it to outline the body. So That's why he said the teacher and the coroner, we got a lot of chalk, but which one will find you and outline you? You know the answer to that. It's the one you put your mind to. You see what I'm saying? He like, which one are you going to be? Are you going to be a teacher outlining some intellectual shit, or are you going to be down with the coroner where your body's getting outlined because you're another statistic, another dead body? So he said, see, when the truth starts speaking, frauds start leaving. Making up excuses like, yo, I got to go do something this evening. He said, let me repeat that. See, when the truth starts speaking, frauds start leaving. Making up excuses like, yo, I got something to do this evening. Still deceiving, still disbelieving, still not achieving, avoiding the teacher, really for no reason. You know what I mean? He's addressing competition right there. Like, you know what I mean? If you really want to be a rapper, a lyricist, a hip hop artist, you know what I mean? Let's not use that word artist too lightly, because some of y'all, in my opinion, you're not really artists. You know what I mean? It's a different level to be an actual artist. So he said, still deceiving, still disbelieving, still not achieving, avoiding the teacher, really for no reason. Then he said, but I'm still eating, popularity peaking. For the last 5 years, I've been booked up every weekend. You know what I mean? He letting you know, I gets my money. You know what I mean? I don't have to dick ride nobody's major labels or any of that stuff. You know what I mean? Because of who I am, because of my status in hip hop, I'm constantly booked up. Every weekend I'm doing shows. You know what I mean? And then he said, no, I'm not bragging, but they still grieving, criticizing the very knowledge they still needing. You know what I mean? So he clarifying for you, it's not me bragging, but they still grieving. You know what I mean? Meaning, you know what I mean? The people who are talking shit, you know, they're still grieving because it's a lot of reasons he could be saying that. You know, your career's dead. You know, you're losing money all the time, but you're still criticizing the very knowledge that you need. You know what I mean? Yet, you know, you always bragging about one thing, but secretly you're still grieving about how many things you ain't got, and how your situation is fucked up. You know what I mean? How you losing money, how you got a bad deal. You know what I mean? And then he said, you criticize the very knowledge that you still needing. You know what I mean? So that's how people do. You know, they're going to criticize somebody like him. Oh, he's old. His time is come and gone. Nobody want to hear all that knowledge and stuff like that, you know. But that's the very knowledge that you need to have longevity in this game, period. Then he said, but I'm still reading, still lecturing, rhyming, impeccable timing, repeatedly shining. But I'm still reading. You know what I mean? And he's letting you know, that's dope right there, because he's letting you know, I didn't just read a few books and then call myself smart. I'm still reading. This man is in his 50s, and he's like, you know, because that's if you know anything about the Prophet Muhammad, one thing he said was seek knowledge from the cradle to the grave. Meaning never stop reading and educating yourself. You know what I mean? You never stop that. And so that's why he said, I'm still reading, still lecturing, rhyming, impeccable timing, repeatedly shining. Seek and you'll find him. And then he said, reading holy books with shamans, lyrical Brahmin, lecturing at UCLA with Common. You know what I mean? Shout out to Common. You know what I mean? He tries to do a lot like what KRS does. You know what I mean? He tries to really uplift, educate, you know what I mean? Give you that real to real shit. You know what I mean? Not just street talk about being on the corners and toting guns and flashing money. You know what I mean? He trying to give you some real shit, just like KRS-One. So that's why he said, I'm lecturing at UCLA with Common. You know what I mean? Graffiti writer bombing, putting up hieroglyphs like Tutankhamun. Bliss, I'm in. That's dope right there. So he said, graffiti writer bombing, because that's what we used to call doing graffiti. One of the nicknames for it was bombing or tagging. You know what I mean? So, you know, you bombing, you be like, yo, I just bombed on the train. You know what I mean? Because you put your graffiti on the train. You know what I mean? And he said, putting up hieroglyphs like Tutankhamun. So that's the Egyptian pharaoh. You know what I mean? So he basically saying the stuff I write is more like hieroglyphics. You know what I mean? Because it's going to not only last forever and need to later be deciphered. You see what I'm saying? It's going to give you that knowledge that you need. You know what I mean? So I like that. I like that about him. KRS always says some stuff that makes you think and want to go explore and, oh, okay, what's he talking about here? Let me go look that up. You know what I mean? And then he said, bliss, I'm in. Meaning, you know, I'm in a state of bliss all the time. He said, life does what I says like Simon. I'm not jobbing or grinding. Divine mind is providing. No lying. That's dope right there. You know what I mean? He said, life does what I says like Simon. Now he getting on that higher level for you. You know what I mean? Because when you're speaking and thinking with your third eye, you know what I mean? Your life is going to do what you say. You know what I mean? Life is going to provide. So that's why he said, I'm not jobbing or grinding, meaning I'm not, you know, breaking my back with a 9 to 5. Divine mind is providing. The divine mind is providing. So he said, then he said, no lying. I keep it knocking and rocking, keep it hot. You can find me in the sun like Akhenaten, another Egyptian pharaoh. You know what I mean? So, you know, go do some research on that. You know what I mean? Study those Egyptian pharaohs and the hieroglyphics and all of that, because you can really find some hidden dope knowledge, you know what I mean, about the past and some stuff that may help you in your future as well. So, you know, that was one of my favorite verses and my favorite songs from the Streetlight album. You know, I can't stress enough, you know, if you want to support real hip hop, go check that out. You know what I mean? If you really want something that's going to feed you and not just get you a little hype because it's got a dope beat, this is what you need. You know what I mean? This is what you need. So I can't say that enough, man. So those are, that's my breakdown of the lyrics, and I really appreciate KRS-One for what he did, still giving us music and still keeping it thorough. So anyway, for Triad Hip Hop Podcast, this is Uncle Kurt, and I'll see y'all on the next one, all right? All right. Peace.